Bless me and welcome on newest commit at USC's 2021 recruiting class, which is now a top 10 class. And Kobe Johnson, what's going on today?
Not much. I'm doing well. How are you?
Pretty good, man. Well, let's just take us through your feelings. You're committed to USC now. You've got the commitment process done with. What's going through your mind? What are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling great, just to get that pressure of being committed off my chest and just being able to focus on high school and then the college level next. It's a good feeling to have.
USC already has three guys there. Reese Waters is a big time guy, Malik and Harrison. Have you gotten to know any of those guys yet?
Previously, before I committed, I didn't know any of them. I just like watch highlights and all that. But after I committed, they reached out to me and like introduced themselves. So I'm just looking forward to building a relationship with those three guys.
And you talk about going out there, you're going through this recruiting process, COVID wise, not going this, and this is all the way out in California. How did you go through this? Why is USC the school you chose?
So like you said, since like we can't take visits and like go look at the campus and see like the coaches in person, it was really about the trust and relationship that I built with the coaches. I felt comfortable enough and had enough trust with them to go all the way out to Cali and believe in them to take care of me. So that's really what played a huge role in me committing all the way on the other side of the country. It's just the relationship me, Coach Enfield, and Coach Capco built, like the relationship was just different. So, I just felt comfortable enough to commit there.
We all see Coach Enfield as obviously a coach, as a big time coach, but we see him as a coach. We don't actually see him off the court, what he's like just talking to. You get to build this relationship the past few months, almost a year now. How have you built this relationship, and what's he like just as a person, just as a man, day to day life?
He's awesome, because he's been coaching for a long time. He played in the NBA, so he has experience. He knows what it takes to get there. So having a coach like that, it's just like it'll help you because like he'll like push you and like do what it takes to get you to the next level. So having a coach like that just really like boosts your confidence because like he'll help you out any way possible.
And this is a class that you look at 2020, the landing guy in Evan Mobley, whom a lot of people believe is the number one overall player in the class. He obviously probably will be a one and done player, but you just see the kind of talent that's going out to USC. Guys like him, guys that already commit to 2021. How much more appealing did that make USC to you?
Just seeing how they like got him, I know that they're trying to like be back on top of the Pac-12 again. So just that, like, just trying to get them back like to top of like the schooling, it was awesome because just seeing that the top recruit in the 2020 class going there, they had to have a good system and like for him to fit in there. So just seeing that, just opened my eyes and like seeing like what they could really do with someone like me and how they could like produce me.
And you had an interesting top five: USC, Cal, two California schools, Kansas State's another Power Five school, Colorado State's in there. Elon, what stood out with those five programs and why did they make your top five?
So when I talked with my family and like what I wanted to lower my list to, it really came down to relationships that I have with all those schools. All those schools I talked to, they all wanted me. So just the relationship part of that. But then when I really got into it, I really broke down like what I wanted, talking with my family and all that. And, looking at each and every school, to me, it didn't matter what the level of the school was, but it was the relationship and how they like plan to use me out through their system. So that's why USC came out on top because I believe they had the best player development for me and just the best situation for me.
There are two other schools I want to touch up on that. You didn't make the top five. One is a school that a lot of people predicted you going to for almost the past year now. They're the first school to offer you in DePaul. What happened there?
Yeah, the thing just Paul, it was a great camp. Like when I went on my visit, it was beautiful and all that. I mean, I just couldn't really see myself going there. They didn't have a plan for me. They just really slowed down on the recruiting. So I just didn't want to go to a school that I didn't feel comfortable with and like I didn't like see them like me being as their player. So I just had to cut them out because I didn't really see a future with them.
You also were considering HBCUs there for a little bit. How close did you possibly go into a school like Grambling or some other HBCU school?
When I first got offered by him, I did take it into consideration. Like I could change this up and potentially go to an HBCU and really shake things up. But what more as I thought about it, they like really cut down on the recruiting and it wasn't like as heavy. So I like just didn't want to like force myself into doing something I didn't want to. So that's the main reason why I cut them out. Just I didn't want to do something I didn't want to do.
Absolutely. And you're a guy that when we just look at your rankings, I mean, that's part of the reason why a lot of people obviously know I'm not a big fan of rankings. They're not always right. And when the casual fan that looks at you, they see guys outside the top 200. But you obviously are a guy that's at least a certified top 200 player. I think a top 100 type of guy. How does that put a chip on your shoulder, though, seeing that obviously people don't necessarily see you at the level you're playing at?
Yeah, rankings, I haven't been on any rankings all my life. So really, that just leaves a chip on my shoulder because I don't care about being on rankings or I don't care about none of those rankings because I know what type of player I am. I'm going to come at anybody any day. So really, it just keeps a chip on my shoulder like who's up there, who's ranked. I'm going to come after them. I'm going to come after anybody. So it just leaves a chip on my shoulder, just like show who I am and show what I'm capable of doing.
Now, when you rank yourself, you were going to put yourself somewhere. Where would you rank yourself in 2021?
I would say I'm a top 50 guy. I'm a very like different player. I can do everything. I can play offense. I lock down defense. I can shoot. I can dribble. I can play make. That's like I don't really see that many guys doing that in my class. Just being able to do everything with every single thing on both sides, offense and defensively. So that's why I would rank myself. Because I just don't see many players in our class doing that.
Has any of the ranking people talked to you? I mean, why do you think you're not ranked as high as you should be?
I don't really speak on rankings like that to people
Mhm.
because I don't really care for rankings. But I just play just to play. I play to play. I play to compete, and I just come after anybody. So I mean, rankings don't really mean that much to me. It's just something there to help me like really come after people and prove myself.
And that's what you did this past season. Almost 20 points a game, almost 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 6 triple doubles. Ultimately was hovering to go back-to-back state champions. What could have happened if COVID didn't shut you guys down. And you also were a guy that James came on and talked about you. When Jalen came back, you kind of sacrificed a little bit of scoring. You sacrificed a little bit of your role. And that's what shows what a great leader you are and why you are one of the best guards out there. Just take us through this past season, though. What was it like having the season you had?
Yeah, this season, is definitely different, but it was a great season. It was fun all around. For the first 75% of the season, we played without Jalen. So, like, at the beginning of the season, I talked to myself and just had to talk to myself. And I was like, you got to step up. Because when we won state, people were saying, oh, it was with Jalen Jamari. If y'all didn't have him, y'all wouldn't have won. So that just really put a chip on me and James' shoulders, too, because I know James wanted to prove himself as well. So we went out there and just played. We just played like ourselves, played for the team, and I think we showed it. We're killing teams. And then when Jalen came back, it was like three-headed monster. Just me, James, and Jalen. I know because Jalen and James are both great scorers. I didn't have to score the ball like that, but I could contribute in many other different ways because I know they got the scoring locked down. So I really just focused on how I can help better the team and not just better myself. And so I think that really helped us get over the top. And unfortunately, the season got ended shortly. But I believe that we would have won another state championship.
Both you and James are guys that a year ago were not in the situation as we're at now. You had a couple offers. James had a couple, but the past 6 months to a year, really both guys have blown up. James going out to Maryland now. Just seeing what you guys have developed over the past couple years as a program and as a duo, what's your guys' relationship like and what's it been like just building that bond with him?
Our relationship is great because me and James were both players that like we started playing AAU together after freshman year. We weren't the top players on our team. We weren't being talked about in these articles and all these write-ups that people are doing. And we both transferred to Nicolay, and all of a sudden, like we both seen each other grow. We both pushed each other. We both seen each other develop as players and people, and that's just something that's amazing because to see where we were at like 2 years ago and to see where we're at now, it's amazing because no one would ever thought that me and him would be up this high But it's just amazing seeing because I seen how much work he put in. It's just amazing to see the outcome and what he's become. It's just amazing.
Upcoming season, there's no chance Jalen's going to come back now. He's obviously out there at Duke. It's going to be that you guys putting on a dynamic duo kind of show once again. What do you guys want to prove and what's the next level? What do you guys want to get done this upcoming season, your season?
We want to prove that we're still the team to beat. We want to prove that without Jalen, that we are still state contenders. And my goals for the season. I want to win a state championship. And I'm pretty sure James wants to win a state championship too, because that's the main goal. If we don't win a state championship, I don't really care about the other accolades, because mainly it's about what the team does, not just personal stuff. So if we win a state championship, I'll let all the other accolades come into where they should go. But I mean, before all that, it's a state championship. We got to win that to really prove that without Jalen and Jamari, we're still that team. So as long as we do that, we'll be fine.
James mentioned a little bit about you guys possibly talking about teaming up at some points. Offers didn't always align, but if offers really started to align for you guys, would teaming up have been something you guys would have seriously ever considered?
Yeah, teaming probably would have been something that we would have talked about a lot. I don't know if it would have worked out with the situations that the coaches would give us and how they would use us. But I mean, it would be in talks if we would team up and play together in college. But how things played out. Fortunately, I didn't get the schools he got. He didn't get some of the schools I got. But it's just about the best situation for ourselves and how we could develop as players. So I mean, I'm glad we're both going, but it's just how things played out.
If you guys ever play each other, I'm not sure if you guys ever will schedule line up against each other in college. If that day come around someday, how excited would you be and what do you think would happen in that game?
Oh, I that would be awesome if if USC were to play Maryland in any type of way, because we've been playing against each other for a while, and just play each other in the college level. That would be awesome. See how much we improved and over the years. It would be fun. Ultimately, I know USC would come out victorious, but it'll probably be a tough game because the Big Ten's got some big dudes in that area, but we got the quickness and all of that, so I think we'll come out on top.
Now, walk us through what exactly happened in the Jalen situation. You are his brother. He went to IMG there, and as you said, he comes back to you guys to have that final push for the playoffs. And the few games you guys did play playoff-wise, what kind of happened there, and when did you know he was going to come back?
He talked to me a lot when he went down to IMG. He was homesick. That's really what it came down to. So he came back. I'd love to have him back. I love to have him at IMG or at Nicolay. It really didn't matter. But since he came back, he wanted to prove, because he dropped lower in the rankings. So I really put a chip on his shoulder, because I believe he's the best player in the 2020 class. But I know he wanted to go out there and prove himself every game. I thought he did by just dominating every team we played.
Couldn't agree more. And he goes out to Duke next season. What do you expect for him? What do you think he can get done? And what probably might just be a 1 year done and before he heads out to the NBA?
I think he might be a triple-double guy up at Duke. He's going to be that guy at Duke. They're going to want him to produce a lot, in big-time moments. They're going to want him to have the ball, him to make a play, him to find teammates, create for others and himself. But I think he's going to do really well. The situation that Coach K and the staff have for him, I believe that he's going to strive very well and produce at a very high level, and then hopefully be a top 5 pick in the 2021 draft. But, I'm just excited to see where he goes and what the future holds for him.
It's not just Jalen's a big basketball player. Your brother playing college, your dad played Division I, your mom played volleyball. This is a family of athletes. What's it been like just growing up amongst this?
It's unlike any other family, but we are all competitive, very competitive. We don't play anything and just go out there and not yell at each other. We're always fighting about something, arguing about some, we're always competing. That's what I like about this family, is that we push each other a lot. We fight with each other a lot. It's just how any other family is. But, we really push each other and get the best out of each other.
So do you guys just push each other like when you guys play one-on-one, king of the court kind of games? Are you guys talking about like video games? I mean, what do you guys kind of talk about during life and competitiveness?
And, I mean, it's anything. We'll be playing video games. We'll be arguing, just getting into it. And especially one-on-ones, those get very, very physical and a lot of trash talking. But, it all worked out in the end. You see where all of us are at. And it really paid off, really paid off.
You have two brothers that go through this recruiting process, know what it's like. How did they help you in yours?
Going or watching Jalen go through his recruiting process, I feel like I had an advantage over everyone else because he was a very highly recruited athlete. So just seeing like what on his visits, what the coach or what he wanted on his visits, and like what he wanted in a school, it really like helped me like center on what I want in the school and like how I should focus on picking the school, and it really helped when it came down to making a decision because I talked to him before I made my decision and was just talking to him about like what I'm like looking for and what I should like see and like hear from coaches and what input they have.
And you were running with Phenom at University, team you've been with for a little bit now. Why'd you choose them?
I feel I played with Phenom because I just felt like they were gonna get the best out of me. Coach Tony, he pushes everyone. I know some people may not like his coaching style, may not like him as a person, but I mean he gets the best out of you. He may scream at you a lot, but he's gonna get the best out of you, and that's what I really like about that program is that you're gonna go hard every single practice, every single game, and he's gonna get the best out of you. Even if you may not like it, he will get the best out of you. Just going through that for the past 3 years, it's been amazing.
You did get some tournaments this year. Not a lot of guys had that much. It wasn't the full year you guys all wanted, but just getting back on that court, playing some games, what did it feel like?
It felt amazing because, I feel like the Phenom team that we had this year, we could have been really special. Could have been something really special. But unfortunately, with EYBL being canceled, we couldn't really go out there and show what we could have done. But just playing in those tournaments with those guys, it was amazing because we learned quickly how to play with each other, how each other's game was. It was amazing to play with them.
And overall, now you look at AAU career, it's all over now. Take us through some of your favorite memories. Do you have one or two or three even favorite memories from your AAU career?
I wouldn't say I had any like memories that like stand out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like the EYBL sessions that I played in. Those were just great moments, and I'm always look back on them and realize that I played in the best, circuit in the nation. So just looking back on like the EYBL days, it's amazing. Even though we didn't do so well last year, it's just fun to get that experience and see all the talent that we went up against.
I really want to head into talking about Wisconsin basketball. State that's not really regarded as one of the best states and might not be overall all-time wise, but Jalen, your brother, obviously kind of set it up for 2020. He's a Phenom top 10 guy. This 2021 class is special. Two top 5 guys, Mike Foster, Pat Baldwin. You got you, James, David, Tyrese. I mean, this list goes on with guys. How special is this 2021 class from guys out of Wisconsin?
My opinion, I think this 2021 class might be the best. I think it's the best class to ever come out of Wisconsin because I believe for the ranking purposes, 1 through at least 25 could go D1, and I truly believe that. And I know everybody in the state. I've seen a lot of people play in the state, and I know that there are D1 potential guys in the state. And, it's amazing to see, like, because I've seen all these guys grow up, and I played against them ever since 3rd grade, 4th grade. It's just amazing to see, like, especially, like, guys that I played with, like Pat, James, Dave, Tyrese, all those guys. It's amazing to see, like, where they started and where they're at now. It's just amazing to see that. But I truly believe that this 21 class is really going to open eyes and prove that we're possibly the best class of Wisconsin.
So build this team for us. If you guys could put together a high school AAU team that have 8 or 9 guys, who's on your Wisconsin team for 2021?
So point. All right, let's go. Let's think. Gotta have myself in there because always have that. I'll build a team without myself first. I have Tyrese Hunter because that man, he's
Hmm.
he's a different type of athlete. He's a 5'10" explosive guard that will come up at the play. He plays above the rim. It's
Hmm.
amazing, especially on ball screens. It's different. I have him. I'd have Pat Baldwin because you can't really stop the 6'10" shooter. It's just amazing. I have James in there because his upside is just amazing. So his ISO, his post fades it's amazing. I had Dave Joplin in there too because Dave, I see how he's been. He can kill sometimes. He can kill. And like when he really gets in mode, he'll take over a game. And I'll take Mike Foster. I'll take Mike Foster because he's a dog. He will fight for you. He will do the dirty work for the team. Like even if you may not score 20 and all that, he'll do the dirty work. So that'll be the top my starting five.
That's our starting five. We add in you, obviously, a top six or whatever. Where do you guys compete? How does that six guys go against any other state's members, top six guys?
I believe that we could compete with any state to the end of no matter like the outcome. I think that we will compete with any state to the final buzzer. Not many teams have that size, that athleticism to compete with us, but it actually be fun to see like those group of guys actually play together. It'll be fun.
And you're just setting the stage now for kind of being the role models now for Wisconsin basketball. A lot of younger guys will start looking up to you, inspiring a lot of guys, especially once you guys are all in the league. When you look at some of the younger guys, I know Tayshaun Bridges is a big-time player in 2024. A lot of big-time players rising up. What do you expect for the future now of Wisconsin basketball?
It's in very good hands. I can say that. In the lower class or in the 2022 class, I know Seth Trimble and Stephen Clay will be two highly D1 high major players because what they're at right now is amazing. But what I've seen, like their potential and like in practice and all that, they will be two very great players. And the fact that they're on the same high school team, that seems scary because like their relationship is tight, their connection is going to be tight, so it's going to be very scary to see those two on the court. For the 23 class, I don't really like know that many kids like personally, but I know Prentice Young. He will be a very he's athletic. I've never seen an athletic kid like that. But he still has some upside because I know he's still getting used to all this basketball stuff. But he will be very good. I know this very underrated kid for 23 class. His name is Daniel Robinson. He can score the ball. He is a very tough player to guard one-on-one, but just hopefully see him up there as a high D1 player. That would be fun to watch because he has a very high upside. And then, like you said, Tayshaun Bridges, he's just a different breed. I've seen him work out. I played against him in like open runs and all that. That kid can jump out of the gym. He's very quick with his ball handling. And he's not a very good shooter right now, but once he gets that shooting now, he would be very hard to stop.
Absolutely, man. A couple more things before I let you go. One is kind of talking about building a legacy for yourself, which is something all guys want to do. So when you are done playing basketball, you step away from the court someday. What do you want to remember for? What do you want your legacy to be?
I mainly want to be remembered for how much of a great teammate I was and how much of a competitor I was. There's not really for basketball. You don't really need you don't need talent that much. If you go out and give effort every single game, you're going to be highly looked at as you're diving for the balls and all that. You're going to be highly looked at. I just want to be known as going out and each and every game, just giving in my all, like it's my last game. Because if I don't sell my stuff short, I know I'm giving up on my team and all that. So I just want to be known as a competitor that just goes out there and give it his all every game.
You just mentioned something that's really key, and I think I want to talk about that real quick. And that's the idea that it's not always about talent. I mean, some people think that you have to be a superstar and all the stars in high school pan out, which isn't the case. There's only so many spots in the NBA to truly be a superstar. But we see in the playoffs, like PJ Tucker, Montrezl Harrell, all these guys aren't necessarily freaks of nature. They're not superstar talent, but they do their job and they last in the league and they make a lot of money doing that. You get in that mindset. You see the importance of just finding a role and keying in on that. Who kind of taught you that and how'd you kind of learn that?
I learned that from at a very young age, like focus on my defense from my dad, because if you're not doing so well on the offensive side, you can still impact the game on the defensive side. So I really focused on that. Like I didn't really focus on it like my freshman year, but these past 2 years, I really focused since I like haven't been like the main scorer on my team. I really focused on just locking down my defender and like impacting on the defensive side, even if I'm not even producing that well on the offensive side. Because too many kids these days really focus on if they're not scoring the ball, then they're having a bad game. I've had games where I have 4 or 5 points, but I still impacted the game on the defensive side by shutting down the other team's best player. So I just really think that kids really need to focus on the defensive side before the offensive side, because defense will lead to offense, and if you're having a great defensive game, you will play well throughout the whole game on both sides.
Couldn't agree more, man. I know you're also a believer. Talk about your faith and how God's helped get you to the point you're at today.
Yeah, man, God has helped me a lot. Seeing like where I was freshman year, I did not think I was going to be where I'm at now. God has just been great to me. He's helped me a lot throughout this whole process. He's just helped me get through a lot of stuff. Going through freshman year, being a 5'10" freshman, not that heavy and all that, not that good, I would say. He's just helped me push through a lot of stuff and really focus on what I need to learn and how I can make myself better to become the player I am today. So he has really helped me a lot in this process.
There's always ups and downs in faith with God, obviously. When would you say that you really started clicking, you really started to have a strong relationship with God?
I would say when I transferred to Nicolay after freshman year going into sophomore year, because that's when I realized I had to really prove myself. I had to show what I'm capable of, and what I really need to strive for, and how I need to produce, and how I need to show out to other people what I'm about. So he really helped me focus on what I need to learn and get better at, and just been amazing.
Amen, man. My final thing before I let you go, give fans your three biggest goals you have set for USC career.
Uh, Mainly I want to win a national championship. As soon as I just want to win as a team. We do well, get a Pac-12 championship, and then go on and potentially get an NCAA championship. And then after that, just I want to get all defensive first team for the Pac-12, because defense is a big thing in my process. So I just want to get all defensive first team, and then get first team all conference, and then just play it out by then. So
Absolutely, man. Well, congratulations on the commitment again, and thanks for coming on, man.
anytime. Thank you.
Of course, you're all God bless.
God bless.